Part 3. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 21. Chapter 021 Is that running? That's flying. Fly. You also have superpowers, why do you call him Lord? Have you never thought about building up a force yourself? Just because he is better than you. Looking at Lin Yuyu's back, Zhao Wanqing spoke. She was a little confused. If it were her, with superpowers, she would never be inferior to others and regard others as the master. Lin Yuyu paused. Master. You don't a Euro trademark T understand the greatness of the Lord. I advise you to be more honest, otherwise I will throw you to the zombies without the Lord taking action. Believe me. In my eyes, you are no more noble than a piece of bread. Looking directly at Lin Yuyu's cold gaze, Zhao Wanqing felt a chill in her heart. The hair on her body stood up and her spine felt chilly. She had no doubt that the woman in front of her would really do this. Lin Yuyu left and looked at the empty door. Zhao Wanqing walked to the window and looked downstairs. A slender figure was rushing to the surgical building at an incredible speed. She took one step and flew several meters away. Was that running? That was flying. What a bunch of monsters they are, cursing secretly in her heart, Zhao Wanqing is so envious. Why doesn't she have superpowers? Looking at the open door, Zhao Wanqing gritted her teeth and walked over to close it. She is a smart woman, she will not go when she did something that challenged Lin Fan's authority, she didn't doubt the authenticity of the woman's words. She didn't want to become a zombie's meal. She didn't cause any trouble, right? On the third floor of the surgical building, Lin Yuyu found Lin Fan. Upon hearing the inquiry, Lin Yuyu repeated Zhao Wanqing's original words without concealing anything. Lin Fan shook his head and said nothing. He did not expect Zhao Wanqing to be so obedient. He's not a puppet. If he doesn't have some ideas, he's not a human being. Lord, do you want me to keep an eye on her? Waving his hand, Lin Fan said nonchalantly, no need, as long as she doesn't do anything extraordinary, ignore her. If she seeks death, the zombies will be very happy. That woman should be very beautiful after she recovers. With a sneer, Lin Fan turned to look at Lin Yuyu and said, do you know what is most indispensable in the world? Women, especially beautiful women. Zhao Wanqing, Lu Wanqing, and Li Wanqing died. The last thing they need in the apocalypse is kindness and benevolence. Kindness to others is cruelty to oneself. With a wave of his hand, several zombies at the end of the corridor fell down. Lin Fan turned around and walked towards the fourth floor. I'll wait for you on the top floor. Looking at Lin Fan's disappearing back, Lin Yuyu clenched her fists, and she remembered the videos she had seen online. To be kind to others is to be cruel to yourself, Lord, I understand. Are zombies scary? Maybe to ordinary people, they are really scary, but to Lin Fan and Lin Yuyu who have special powers, they are just props to increase points and targets to increase their strength. No matter how fast the zombies run, they can 78 meters per second. In the eyes of Lin Fan and Lin Yuyu, the slow zombies are living targets, and they can be stabbed one by one. Ding. Lin Yuyu kills zombies, her points are add 1, and your additional shared experience is add 1. The current experience is 2106/10,000. Standing on the rooftop of the top floor and looking down, Lin Fan sensed Lin Yuyu's running figure shortly after the beep disappeared. There are many metal elements in the human body. Lin Fan still remembers that when Lao Wan escaped from prison, the soldier was because there were too many metal elements in the body, so he spurted blood and died. Although this kind of perception is not a god's perspective, it is not far away. As long as there are metal elements in the body, no one within a kilometer can escape Lin Fan's control. Is everything cleaned up? Well, it's all cleaned up. Standing behind Lin Fan, Lin Yuyu looked relaxed. Her physique had been greatly enhanced. Even after a half-day battle, She didn't look tired at all. Go back to eat. According to today's progress, the hospital will be cleaned out by tomorrow at the latest. Only the last two buildings and the dormitory area are left. Although the hospital is big, it can't stop Lin Fan from cleaning up quickly. If Zhao Wanqing hadn't delayed a lot of time, he could still clean up a whole building, but there is no need for that now. He bent down and picked up Lin Yuyu, looking down at the little one in his arms. Lin Yuyu, who had a fair face, Lin Fan asked, "Are you afraid?" "Not afraid, ah." Before he finished speaking, Lin Fan jumped down from the rooftop. The feeling of weightlessness spread throughout his body, and his screams resounded throughout most of the hospital. Listening to Lin Yuyu's screams, an ordinary person would probably be furious to death. Wow, how many zombies will it attract with such a loud voice? But Lin Fan is different. Zombies are nothing to be afraid of. They are just tools to increase points. Besides, there are not many zombies in the hospital area, and more of them are in the building. On the contrary, Lin Yuyu's screaming and frightened look made Lin Fan find it very interesting. After landing safely, he looked at Lin Yuyu's face turned pale and her eyes closed tightly, especially her two little hands that had nowhere to rest, clinging tightly to them. Not to mention how cute his clothes were. The feeling of weightlessness disappeared, Lin Yuyu opened her eyes, and was immediately stunned by Lin Fan. Well. After a kiss, Lin Fan laughed, and with Lin Yuyu's reluctant patting, he hugged her and ran towards the supermarket. Go home for dinner. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 22. Can you cook? In the living room on the second floor, Lin Fan was sitting on the sofa. Sitting across from him was Zhao Wanqing, who looked much better. Lin Yuyu ran to the kitchen to cook. Lin Fan didn't know how to raise idle people. Even if it was a vase, he still had to be somewhat capable. At least you must know how to clean, wash and cook, otherwise you will do nothing but sleep with me. How is it better than a baby? It can squeak and move. Then who is serving whom? Lord, I can cook, and apart from housework, I am pretty good at management. After resting in the room for a few hours, Zhao Wanqing didn't think about anything. Lin Fan and Lin Yuyu both have superpowers, which are still very scary. Coupled with Lin Yuyu's previous intimidation, Zhao Wanqing has already thought about it. Just because he didn't have superpowers didn't mean he could only be a vase. She could see that Lin Fan was not satisfied with a small hospital. With such strong strength, Lin Fan was destined to go out, keep expanding, and become a hero in the apocalypse. Overlord. As Lin Fan became more powerful, he would definitely need someone to manage him. She asked herself that her management skills were pretty good. If she wanted to stand out, she had to express herself. There was no way, the competition was too strong and she couldn't compete with Lin Yuyu. She always wanted to stand out. Do you want to compete with other women? Don't talk about being petty. You don't like Lin Fan and don't want to sleep with him. There is no benefit in being petty. You don't think that others will not use force? This is not a peaceful era. People after playing at home, if you are not happy, they will feed you to the zombies. There is no place for you to cry. Since you can't hide, then be good. If you can't compete with Lin Yuyu, then step on other women under your feet. Men, they are all while eating from the bowl and looking at the food in the pot. Lin Fan realized that the faster Lin Fan expanded, the more women there would be. If he wanted to firmly occupy the second position in the harem, he must have outstanding abilities. Zhao Wanqing's creed was to cooperate with Lin Fan, don't a Euro trademark T make him angry, and then express yourself as much as possible. As long as you know how to cook, the cooking and housework will be left to you in the future. You can freely control the things downstairs. As long as you don't go out, you shouldn't be in danger. Zhao Wanqing's cooperation made Lin Fan nodded, and he no longer placed any restrictions on her. How much can she eat as a woman? Now that there is someone at his disposal, he naturally doesn't want Lin Yuyu to be too tired. Lin Fan's thoughts are simple. She is not her woman, so he naturally doesn't bother to care about her, but if she becomes his woman, her treatment will definitely improve, and he will care more, just like Lin Yuyu now. The meal was served quickly, and after the meal it was almost dark. Lin Fan took Lin Yuyu back to the room, leaving Zhao Wanqing to clear the table alone. Looking at the backs of the two of them, Zhao Wanqing thought with her hair, she knew what the two of them were going to do when they returned home so early. Sooner or later, I will also go into that room. After cleaning up the mess, Zhao Wanqing returned to the room. As soon as she sat down, she heard some bad sounds. It sounded like discomfort, pain, or crying. Zhao Wanqing's face turned pale instantly, and she cursed in her heart. I put a quilt over my head, but it had no effect at all. No matter how tightly I covered my head, I could still hear it. It was seamless. An hour later. ETA Euro trademark S never over. 2 hours later. Are you robots? 3 hours later, Zhao Wanqing was about to smash the wall. What the hell is going on here? Is this still a human being? Or does it mean that he has superpowers and physical strength? But soon, the voice disappeared, and Zhao Wanqing felt very strong. I felt uncomfortable, so I took a shower again before going to sleep. Not all places are so quiet at night. In a residential building not far from the hospital, several men were walking around anxiously. Squeak. The closed door opened, 2 women came out, and several men hurriedly approached. Yanyan, how is Ching Ching? Zhao Yanyan looked at the few men who came over with disdain. In her eyes, these men were just lickers and spare tires. If she didn't expect them to go out to find food, she wouldn't bother to pay attention to them. The few men in front of her were chasing after them. She has been with them for a long time. Before the end of the day, she, Mu Yuqing, and Li Saiqi went out to play, accompanied by Zhao Xiong and others. It happened to be the end of the day, and they were all trapped in this villa. The food they bought quickly disappeared. After eating, the things left by the owner of the villa did not last long. After eating the food, Zhao Xiong took the initiative to go out to find food and come back. In order to show themselves in front of the goddess, several other men took the initiative to ask for food. In the next month, basically the 5 of them went out to look for food, and there were no dangers. Each time, the 5 of them came back safely. Unfortunately, Mu Yuqing was ill today, had a high fever, and was bedridden. But Zhao Xiong was in a hurry. Damn it, the other 2 men who were interested in Mu Yuqing were also anxious. Zhao Yanyan was good looking, with a slim waist and voluptuous eyes. Every move she made seemed to have a charming air, which touched the hearts of several men. After a while of jumping, his eyes swept over Zhao Xiong and others. Zhao Yanyan sighed. King King's high fever will not go away, and there is no antipyretic medicine in this villa. If this continues, I'm afraid everyone will be burned out. Hearing that the goddess' condition was so serious, Zhao Xiong immediately became anxious. Not far away is the city's key hospital. Tomorrow I will go find Ching Ching antipyretics. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 23. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Lin Fan woke up from his sleep and looked down at Lin Yuyu, who was sleeping soundly in his arms. The girl kissed Lin Yuyu's ear yesterday. Lin Fan stood up. The slight movement woke up Lin Yuyu, who was as confused as a bird. The kitten, which had just woken up, took Lin Fan's arm with its little hand and rubbed it against it, as if it wanted to hold it for a while. Withdrawing his arm, Lin Fan covered her with a quilt, put on his clothes and walked out of the room. Before he reached the living room, he smelled the aroma of rice. "Lord, do you want to wash up?" Seeing Zhao Wanqing dressed as a cook, Lin Fan nodded. This woman did not disappoint him too much. She knew how to get up early to cook, which was a plus for her. Seeing Lin Fan nodding, Zhao Wanqing soon said. Zhao Wanqing came out with a basin of water, then took Lin Fan's arm and started to wash his hands. Lin Fan was confused at the time. After washing his hands, Zhao Wanqing took a towel and wiped his face carefully. Her movements were gentle, as if she was afraid of hurting him. Only then did he, Lin Fan, react. This was the first time for him to be washed by someone. Looking at the toothpaste and toothbrush prepared next to him, an idea suddenly came to his mind. Is this woman still brushing his teeth? Many times, when all impossibilities are eliminated, that is the truth. Zhao Wanqing actually brushed his teeth with a toothbrush. Looking at his face so close, Lin Fan didn't know what to say for a moment. Should we praise the corruption of capital or denounce it? Lin Fan thought about it, and as someone who enjoys this privilege, he chose to remain silent. Lord, will this hurt? Is it too much strength? ETA Euro trademark S time for the master to change sides. Listening to Zhao Wanqing's gentle voice, Lin Fan seemed to be very cooperative. After washing, Zhao Wanqing took the basin and left, leaving Lin Fan sitting alone on the sofa. After a while, Lin Yuyu, who was yawning, put on his clothes. Walked out neatly. Why don't you sleep? Getting into Lin Fan's arms, Lin Yuyu shook her head and said sleepily, the Lord is not here, so Yuyu couldn't sleep, so she got up. She has to clean up the zombies later. Patting Lin Yuyu's back, Lin Fan said softly, go and wash up, it's time to eat. After breakfast was finished peacefully, Zhao Wanqing was left alone at home. Lin Fan and Lin Yuyu, who had recovered their strength, went to the hospital area to clean up the remaining zombies. Just as the two of them were leaving, a residential area not far from the hospital appeared. Inside, three men, Zhao Xiong, Hua Ming'an and Wen Lu, opened the door cautiously and ran out. Their mission was to avoid zombies and go to the hospital to find antipyretics. There were originally 5 of them, but 2 of them felt it was too dangerous. Flinched. Zhao Xiong, I will not give up Qing Qing to you. We each rely on our own abilities. Unlike Zhao Xiong, who is tall and strong, Hua Ming'an is a young man, thin and fair-skinned. Now for the goddess in his heart, Hua Ming'an looks at Zhao Xiong without fear. When Lu between the two pushing up the gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of his nose, he said with a gloomy expression, I don't care how you two argue. The main reason I came out with you this time is because of Yan Yan. Whom Yuyuking belongs to has nothing to do with me at all. Glancing at Hua Ming'an, Zhao Xiong gave up the idea of a euro arguing and said seriously, let's just follow the original plan last night. Hua Ming'an snorted coldly and did not prod Wen Lu anymore. The 3 of them carefully walked around the zombies and slowly approached the hospital. This journey was unspeakably thrilling. If you can go around it, you will throw something away. After attracting the attention of the zombies, he finally managed to climb over the iron fence of the hospital without any danger. He collapsed on the ground and rested for a while. Zhao Xiong wiped the sweat from his head and stood up. The outpatient building is over there. Let's be careful. We wasted too much time when we came here. We must go back before dark. The zombies at night are too scary. Wenlu and Hua Ming'an didn't refute, with a look of fear in their eyes. They obviously knew how scary the zombies were at night. The 3 of them walked forward hunched over, but what made them confused was why there were no zombies in this courtyard. Why is it so quiet? This is obviously unconventional. Little did they know that the hospital area had been cleaned up by Lin Fan. What they didn't even know was that from above, a gaze was looking down at them. Interestingly, before I went out, Someone came to my territory first. A gust of fragrant wind came from behind. Lin Yu quietly appeared next to Lin Fan. She noticed Lin Fan's gaze and couldn't help but look over in confusion. Lord, what are you looking at? Nothing, I found a few little mice, it looks like there should be an unexpected harvest. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Da. Chapter 24. Chapter 024, following three little mice home, the strong Lin Yu has been strengthened many times. Lin Fan's vision is terrifying. The hospital area is already very empty. Even if the three of them are bent over, in Lin Fan's eyes, the target is still too big. Big. Standing on the top floor and looking at the three little mice sneaking in below, Lin Yu looked evil and said, "My lord, do you want me to go down and kill them?" Perhaps it was because he had seen too many vile videos on the internet, but Lin Yu had a special interest in men. I have instinctive disgust and hatred. Now I see three men dare to sneak in. No matter what they want to do, this is unforgivable. This is Lin Fan's territory. If anyone breaks in without permission, they will die. Go ahead, don't rush to take action. They must be looking for medicine when they come to the hospital. If you follow the clues, you may gain something big. Lin Yu nodded, turned around and disappeared on the rooftop. Lin Fan had no intention of following her. Lin Yu's magnetic control has now been promoted to level 4. At this level, even bullets cannot harm Lin Yu. What does he have to worry about? This is an experience. Lin Yu cannot always follow him. As the power level increases, the two of them being together will delay the progress too much. He has to distract himself from leaving some zombies for Lin Yu, which slows down the upgrade of the power. Speed. With LV4 magnetic control, Lin Yu already has the ability to stand alone, but she doesn't a Euro trademark T know if she is ruthless enough and decisive enough. In the outpatient building, Zhao Xiong and the other three who were not aware that they had been discovered were a little confused. So quiet. Even too weird. Along the way, I didn't a Euro trademark T encounter a single zombie. Not only that, except for bloodstains, there was not a single zombie in the hospital building. What is going on? Where are the zombies? Where have they all gone? The three of them looked at each other, feeling a little uneasy. After all, things were too weird. They were a little discouraged. Zhao Xiong, a tall man, felt a little chill down his spine. Hurry up and find medicine, cold medicine, antipyretic medicine. Get more of this, I never want to come to this damn place again. The three of them split up and rummaged around. Antipyretics were very common. The three of them quickly packed a large bag, which contained not only antipyretics, but also cold medicines, alcohol, and other miscellaneous things. Walk. The three people took their things and quickly exited the hospital building. From a window on the third floor, Lin Yu watched the three people's backs walk away, and then jumped out of the window. He landed smoothly, and then shot like an arrow from a string. Go out and chase after the three people. Jumping on the roof all the way, looking at the three people walking on the ground as fast as turtles, Lin Yu had no choice but to take action and clean up some zombies blocking the road, which made the three people speed up. Quite a bit. Seeing the three people running directly into a house, Lin Yu frowned, sensed it, and after confirming the number of people and weapons, he jumped in through a window. Yan, we brought back the antipyretic medicine. Zhao Xiong and Hua Ming'an took large and small bags of medicine and kept knocking on the bedroom door. Soon, Zhao Yanyan, who was plump and with a youthful look, opened the door. Keep your voice down, Ching Ching finally fell asleep. Hearing Zhao Yanyan's rebuke, Zhao Xiong and Hua Ming'an quickly fell silent. They pointed at the bags in their hands without any anger. Their consciousness was very clear. It can be said that they have exerted their dog-licking spirit to a certain level. And look at when Zhao Yanyan came out, Wenlu also came up and handed over the bag of medicine he was holding. So much. Zhao Yanyan looked at the 3 big bags of medicine, her eyes opened into an O shape, and she looked very surprised. In her opinion, it was incredible that the 3 of them could bring back the medicine when they went out this time. In the end, not only did they bring back the medicine, there are so many of them. This is unbelievable. Have all the zombies outside changed to vegetarianism? Looking at Zhao Yanyana Euro trademark's stunning appearance, the 3 of them looked intoxicated. Like a dog, as long as she is a woman, they can go crazy licking. Ta, clatter, clatter. The sound of high heels came, and several people were slightly startled. They looked over and were stunned when they saw the strange figure walking out step by step. You, who are you? Why is it in our home? Looking at Lin Yuyu, who came out with a cold face and evil eyes, Zhao Yanyan was a little confused, and at the same time she was a little scared. She didn't know why, but when she saw Lin Yuyu, she felt panicked and scared. Lin Yuyu didn't kill so many zombies for nothing. Now that he is in a bad mood, this evil spirit naturally comes out of his body, bringing a strong sense of oppression. You went to the Lord's territory to steal medicine, and now you ask me who I am. Master. Territory. Stealing medicine? The expressions of Zhao Xiong and the other 2 people changed. They thought of the hospital, especially when they heard Lin Yuyu call out the word master, they were filled with jealousy. Such a beautiful woman actually called someone else master. Go up. Doesn't that mean they've done everything? They've been licking for so long, Zhao Yanyan and the others didn't even hold their hands, they were so jealous that they were almost vomiting blood. Lin Yuyu didn't know what the licking dogs were thinking. He walked up to Zhao Yanyan, raised his hand and pinched Zhao Yanyan's chin, his eyes were like looking at ants, pigs, and dogs. Let me ask you, is it still the first time? Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 25. Chapter 025, Die for the licking dog that gets in the way. Frightened everyone. Hey, what are you doing? Let go of Yanyan. Lin Yuyu pinched Zhao Yanyan's chin. Wenlu, who regarded her as a goddess, became angry instantly. He came over with a stern scolding and raised his hand to push Lin Yuyu aside. Roll. Dirty bugs. With a murderous look on her face, Lin Yuyu suddenly looked at Wenlu, and the magnetic control exploded. The blood in Wenlu's body ran at high speed. In an instant, large amounts of blood spurted out from the internal organs, and large amounts of blood mist sprayed out from the surface of the skin. At the same time, the whole person flew out and hit the wall directly outside Shumi. Bang! Crash! Large fonts were posted on the wall. Wenlu's figure slipped and fell to the ground, his head tilted to the side. He was obviously dead. Dead. Blood mist splashed on the faces of Zhao Xiong and several others. Immediately, they were all stunned. Their dull eyes looked behind them, where Wenlu's body fell to the ground. Zhao Xiong wiped his face subconsciously, his palms trembling. Looking at the blood of the orangutan in his hand, Zhao Xiong felt cold from head to soul. Just now, what just happened? Why did that woman just glare at him, and Wenlu spurted blood all over his body and flew backwards, died? Thinking of the strange situation in the hospital without any zombies, Zhao Xiong was scared crazy. Not only Zhao Xiong, Hua Ming'an, who was tall, thin, gentle, and pretty, was also frightened and didn't dare to move. It wasn't that he didn't dare to move, but that he was so frightened that he couldn't control his feet at all. Can't move. Even if he could move, he didn't dare to move. What if he was scared to death like Wenlu? He doesn't a Euro trademark T want to die yet. Zhao Yanyan's eyes were horrified. Although she was very disdainful of Wenlu, a licking dog, she was scared when she saw him die instantly in front of her eyes. Terrified. The woman holding her chin in front of her was so terrifying. She is not human at all. How can a normal person be so scary? A single look can kill someone. Let me ask you again, is it still the first time? The voice was cold, and Lin Yuyo sounded a little impatient. If it weren't for the fact that this woman was beautiful and naturally looked like a fairy, she wouldn't have bothered to ask. Lin Yuyu actually wanted to dominate Lin Fan by herself, but she knew it was impossible. Besides, for 2 nights in a row, she really couldn't bear it anymore. The first day was okay, considering it was her first time. It only lasted 2 hours, but last night it was more than 3 hours, and her waist was almost broken. How can this master be so fierce? It's comfortable, but the pain in the back is real. A woman like Zhao Yanyan can still be used as a tool. Let's share the burden. The premise is whether this woman is qualified or not. Lin Yuyu didn't want to bring back all the rags. What if it tainted the Lord? Is such a messy woman worthy of being used by the Lord? So this question is very important. Shocked by fear in her heart, Zhao Yanyan nodded quickly, for fear of being slow. Crushed to death. Exist, they are all still here. I don't a Euro trademark tea like these men at all. They are all liquors. I am very clean. Zhao Yanyan is not a fool. Lin Yuyu asked this. Of course she knew what it meant, and she was extremely happy in her heart. Fortunately, she always used men as backup and did nothing. Otherwise, this woman might have killed her today. Yanyan, what are you talking about? How could it be this quarrel? The door was opened, and Li Saiki rubbed her eyes and walked out. She was stunned when she saw the tense situation outside the door. Yanyan, what are you doing? Who is this woman? What happened to Wen Lu? Zhao Xiang, why do you have so much tomato juice on your face? The room was quiet. Zhao Xiang and others didn't dare to move. They looked at Li Saiki, who came out with a cute look on her face. She complained in her heart and wanted to yell. Don't come out. Go back quickly. It's dangerous outside. But they didn't dare because the woman had already turned her attention to Li Saiki. Looking at Li Saiki walking out of the room, Lin Yuyu nodded secretly. Compared with Zhao Yanyan, Li Saiki looked more like the girl next door, looking very innocent. She has long, straight black hair, big watery eyes, and a petite figure, about 1.65 meters tall, but her figure is not bad at all, with bulging muscles that stretch out her clothes. And you? Or is it not the first time? What? Li Saiki tilted her little head, looking even more silly and cute, as if she didn't understand the situation. Yes, 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 yes. Sir, Saiki is still very well behaved. Zhao Yanyan was afraid that Lin Yuyu would be angry, so she quickly answered for Li Saiki, who didn't understand the situation. By the way, this is the first time that Muyuking has a fever in the room. She has a high fever and can't answer. Sir, please don't be angry. Not only Li Saiki, Zhao Yanyan also answered the question about Muyuking, who was sleeping with high fever. It was so shocking that Lin Yuyu killed Wen Lu just now. She didn't want 2 good sisters to die without knowing it. Is that so? You'd better not lie to me, you can't afford the price. Lin Yuyu nodded, casually shook off Zhao Yanyan's chin, glanced at Zhao Yanyan and the 2 of them, and said in an unquestionable tone. You guys come with me, you are barely qualified to serve the Lord in washing and dressing. This is not a question, but an order. You are not qualified to refute, understand? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 26. Chapter 026, Cruel Means, Eradicating the Roots. In the room, Lin Yuyu saw Muyuking, who was sleeping with fever. His facial features were exquisite and small. Between a drink and a peck, it seemed that he had been carefully carved by a skilled craftsman, with unique ingenuity and an intellectual charm. She found that in this house, the three women each had their own characteristics. Zhao Yanyan was naturally charming, Li Saiki, the girl next door, was cute, and this Mu Yuking, whose intellectual charm made people unable to take their eyes away. At this time, Mu Yuking looked sick and pale, which made him even more pitiful. After asking Zhao Yanyan to give her some antipyretic medicine and get dressed, Lin Yuyu picked up Mu Yuking. As for Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki, these two were not the same material. It would be good if they could walk on their own. Lin Yuyu didn't expect that. The two of them can hold Mu Yuking. The three of them had no choice. Zhao Yanyan did not dare to try what would be the consequences of refusing. At this moment, the cute girl Li Saiki also understood what had happened. She looked at Lin Yuyu with fearful eyes, and she dared not say a word no. Lin Yuyu's intimidation was terrifying. Even after entering the room, the lingering power was still there. Zhao Xiong and the others were so frightened that they did not dare to move. They did not dare to fart until they saw Lin Yuyu leaving with their goddess Mu Yuking in her arms. Until the backs of Lin Yuyu and others disappeared, several people collapsed to the ground as if the immobilizing spell had been released. Looking at the dead body of Wen Lu lying on the ground beside the wall, Zhao Xiong shivered. If it was him who came forward just now, he might be dead now. Afraid. Fear. And not willing to give in. He watched Mu Yuking being taken away with his own eyes, but he did not dare to resist. The thought of his goddess going to serve another man made Zhao Xiong feel as uncomfortable as a knife. The goddess he has never even held hands with is going to serve other men, dress and wash, and even have to. Just thinking about it made his heart burst. He is not willing to give in. Not only him, Hua Ming'an was also unwilling to give in. The flames of anger and jealousy almost burned out his sanity. He was so angry that his whole body was shaking. I cannot be reconciled. His eyes were filled with bloodshot eyes. Veins popped out on Zhao Xiong's forehead. He punched the chair with a muffled sound. Hua Ming'an, are you going to be a coward? Infuriated by Zhao Xiong, Hua Ming'an stared at him and growled, you don't have to provoke me, I swear, I will definitely rescue Ching Ching. I'm going to the other survivors and I want revenge. I want revenge. I want to torture that woman severely. And that so-called lord. Die. All will die. The two people went crazy in the living room. The remaining two people were so scared that they trembled and did not dare to speak at all. On the roof next door, listening to the roar coming from the room, Lin Yuyu's face was cold, and there was a cold light in his eyes. Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki, who were standing nearby, were filled with fear. The murderous aura made them feel cold all over. It was obviously a hot summer day, but the cold seemed to be frozen to their bones. Carrying her. Ah! Oh! Zhao Yanyan was shocked. She forced herself to tell Mu Yuking that she didn't dare to look at what happened next. She almost hated those idiots in the house. What are you calling? You can't wait for others to go away. Are you screaming again? This is going to kill them. Lin Yuyu raised his arm and grabbed the air with his palm. Several zombies were caught out of thin air, and then under Lin Yuyu's control, they were thrown directly into the house. Looking at this terrifying scene, Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki's pupils widened. They had already thought of what would happen next. Ah! Why are there zombies? Where did the zombies come from? Run! Run! Open the door! Open the door! Why can't a Euro trademark T his horse a Euro trademark S door be opened? Ah! It hurts. I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Ah! Screams came one after another, and Zhao Yanyan were trembling with fear. Devil! This woman is simply a devil. After doing all this, she felt that the breath of life inside disappeared. Lin Yu squeezed hard with her long fingers, as if she was pinching them out of thin air. Something exploded, and immediately after, the three-story villa collapsed instantly. The horrific scene made the two women even more frightened. The scenes happening in front of them were beyond their understanding. This woman was like a demon coming out of hell, possessing the power of, and they are the prisoners of the devil. Turning around, Lin Yu's cold expression did not change, and her eyes swept over Zhao Yanyan and Zhao Yanyan. The two women shrank their heads with such a gaze that they did not dare to raise their heads at all. You'd better be obedient. The consequences of disobedience will not be any better than those of those people. I hope you will not bring about your own destruction. No. Won't. We will definitely be obedient. Yeah, we will definitely be obedient, we will definitely be very obedient. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 27. Chapter 027 Zhao Wanqingga Euro trademark S mentality is broken, and the future is dark. On the roof of the hospital, everything Lin Yu did could be seen clearly. Lin Fan pinched his chin and nodded secretly in his heart. He didn't know what happened in the process, but he saw the result. Lin Yu did a good job, eradicating the root and the source of everything. If it were him, he would do the same thing. Bring back all the women, but kill all the men. His men don't a Euro trademark T need men. He has superpowers and can even give himself superpowers to women. He doesn't a Euro trademark T need men at all to conquer the world. As for some tasks such as farming, they can be left to those women who have been kicked off, such as those who are ugly, old, or have who knows how many hands of broken shoes. These women cannot be kept in vain. To provide them with a safe environment and food, a corresponding price must be paid. Compared to other men or leaders of forces, Lin Fan feels that he is already very kind, doesn't he? He sacrificed his body and dignity for a piece of bread, lay naked on the ground to flatter him, and even became some kind of tool. Lin Fan really felt that his treatment was already very high. Seeing Lin Yu flying over from mid-air with three women, Lin Fan turned around and disappeared from the top of the building. Level 4 magnetic control can completely allow Lin Yu to achieve this level. He no longer needs to worry about it. The remaining dormitory area has not been cleaned yet. After cleaning this last piece, the hospital will be the real Pure Land in the apocalypse. The next step is to acquire new powers, strengthen the hospital, and continue to expand around it. All forces, big and small, are wiped out, and then they occupy the entire city, radiate across the country, and then the whole world. No one can stop him. After taking Zhao Yanyan and the three of them back to the campus, Lin Yu breathed a sigh of relief when they landed on the ground. She flew 700 to 800 meters with the three of them, which was still a lot of consumption for her. This is the Lord a Euro trademark S territory, now you follow me. After Lin Yu finished speaking, she walked towards the supermarket. Zhao Yanyan and Zhao Yanyan looked at each other and followed Lin Yu. On the way, Yu, who was being carried by Zhao Yanyan, woke up and looked at everything around her with blank eyes. Yanyan, where are we? Why aren't you in the villa? Muyuking is not heavy, but weighs more than 90 kilograms. It is very difficult for Zhao Yanyan to carry her on her back. Seeing Yu wake up, Li Saiki quickly told the story in a low voice, and Muyuking was still a little confused. He looked stunned, as if he was listening to some fairy tale. In other words, we are no longer free, ahem, are we? Li Saiki drooped her little head and nodded. Ching ching, call, do you blame me for making your decision? Call. Behind Muyuking's back, Zhao Yanyan asked in a confused tone. Let me down, I can go on my own. Muyuking's tone was weak but firm. Zhao Yanyan hesitated for a moment, bent down and put Mu Yuking down. Supported by Zhao Yanyan, Mu Yuking coughed twice, looked at Zhao Yanyan with soft eyes, and raised her hand to her. He stroked his face and said softly, "How could I blame you? You are doing it for my own good, not to mention, do we have a choice? Eat a Euro trademark S, not like you haven a Euro trademark T. Seen the things on the internet. I just hope we don't a Euro trademark T become like that. Okay, let's go, so as not to make the adult in front angry." Zhao Yanyan was startled and quickly looked ahead. Not far away, Lin Yuyu stopped at some point and looked at them with indifferent eyes. Lin Yuyu didn't say anything at all, which made the three nervous people. He breathed a sigh of relief and finally arrived in front of the supermarket. Taking the three of them up to the second floor, Lin Yuyu looked at the weak Mu Yuking and said, "You go and rest first. I will come back with medicine and give you an injection later. As for you two." Speaking of this, Lin Yuyu looked at Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki. The two women whose names were called had their hearts in their throats. They looked at Lin Yuyu nervously, as if waiting for the judgment of fate. "The task of the three of you is to serve the Lord every day, to dress, wash, and meet the Lord a Euro trademark S other needs. It depends on whether the Lord cares about you. Mu Yuking ga Euro trademark S illness has not recovered, so eat a Euro trademark S, just you two for the time being. Do you understand?" Zhao Yanyan still has no arrogance when facing Zhao Xiong and the others at this time. Like Li Saiki, she nodded like a chicken eating rice, for fear of being too slow and causing Lin Yuyu's dissatisfaction. "As long as you know." After Lin Yuyu finished speaking, she glanced at Zhao Wanqing, who was hesitant to speak next to her. Without saying a word, she turned and left the supermarket. She still had to prepare medicine. Mu Yuking couldn't stay sick, and it wasn't like she had invited an old man back. Looking at Lin Yuyu left without looking back. Not to mention how depressed Zhao Wanqing was. It was just her second day here, and it was less than 24 hours before she could start her plan. Lin Yuyu directly brought back three women. How could this be fun? She has not yet reached the peak of her appearance. Not to mention competing with Lin Yuyu, she can't compete with the three women brought back today. These three women each have their own characteristics, so what? Is that good? The future is dark. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 28. Chapter 028, Controlling the Hospital, New Abilities Rewarded by the System. Ding. Kill zombies, score add 1, magnet control experience add 1, current experience is 4105/10,000. On the top floor of the dormitory area, the last zombie fell. Listening to the notification sound in his mind, Lin Fan couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. The entire hospital was finally completely cleaned, and there was no longer a single zombie left. Ding. After successfully cleaning up the hospital, the first foothold base was established, and the journey for Hegemony officially started. The system will reward you with a random ability 1 points 1000, and your personal space will be upgraded to 555. Please keep up the good work. When I played, it wasn't that I had a problem, but I thought you had a problem. How can your system force me to fight for world domination? Although I originally wanted to, but with your points, I'm not easy to do things. Why is it only 1000? Lin Fan smacked his lips, feeling a little dissatisfied. My lord, you just occupied a hospital, so the reward is naturally not that much. When you occupy the entire city, the reward will be upgraded. Okay, that makes sense. In fact, this wave of rewards has really made a lot of money, mainly that ability. Any ability in the points mall starts at 10,000 points. He hasn't saved enough 10,000 points so far, and now it's all for nothing. I gave you a special ability, no matter what it is. Overall, eat a Euro trademark S still great. System, extract abilities for me. Ding. Abilities are being drawn. Congratulations, Lord, for gaining the power of controlling thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning control? It seems pretty good. Although it's not one of those powers that easily start with 100,000 points, the lightning power is really powerful. It's destructive. Even Lin Fan is still thinking about what will happen if the power goes out in the future. Now, can he generate electricity directly? Ding. The ability extraction is complete. Do you want to fuse it? Fusion. I didn't even think about it. This must be fused. Take it out without fusion and keep it for the new year? A stream of lightning splashed on Lin Fan's head, blue lightning flashed and jumped in the hair, and thunder snakes radiated out, all over Lin Fan's head. Throughout his body, lightning transformed his body, enhancing his physique and making Lin Fan stronger. Ding. The fusion of lightning control abilities has been completed, and the current level is LV1. Sir, please note that the experience between abilities is not shared. Only by using the corresponding abilities to kill zombies can the experience be increased. The system's prompt tone echoed in his ears. Lin Fan was not surprised. He had even expected it. The system had mentioned this before. Open your personal panel. Character, Lin Fan. Strength, 54. Agility, 58. Intelligence, 70. Physique, 69. Points, 5,621. Ability, Magnetic Field Control LV6 A Lightning Control LV1 A. Experience, 4105/10,000, 0/10. Possessed items, Flying Knife *100. The four-dimensional attributes have increased a bit, of which intelligence and physique are the most important. If the body is heavy and the physique is not strong enough, it cannot carry the powerful force in the body. The agility has also increased a lot. It should be because the lightning speed is fast. In terms of experience, the magnetic field control experience is about to pass halfway, and the more experience behind it is the new supernatural lightning control experience. Just like the previous magnetic field control, you need to kill 10 zombies to advance to L2. Because of the 1,000 points just awarded, the points have reached close to 6,000. The flying knives were replenished by 40, totaling 100. Lin Yu also replenished the number from the previous 3 to 30, consuming 670 points. But it's all worth it. Spreading his palms, lightning was raging and thunder exploded. Lin Fan could feel the violent destructive power in the thunder. Compared with magnetic control, lightning control was more cunning and focused on the destructive power. Thunder and lightning represent the power of destruction, and this is understandable. Clenching his palms tightly and extinguishing the lightning, Lin Fan looked up at the sky. When would his lightning power become so powerful that in a single thought, the color of the sky and the earth would change, thunder clouds would fill the sky, and the sky would change? Lin Fan believes that that day must not be far away. Lin Fan jumped down from the dormitory building, lightning flashed in his hair, Lin Fan's figure jumped out directly, the dense lightning behind him stretched into a long arc, and the thunder exploded, sounding like thunder, as if thunder was traveling in the world. Although he is only level 1, he has a foundation of magnetic control. Lin Fan has sufficient mental strength and can completely control the lightning and sprint. This is his foundation. Even upgrading is very simple. It does not need to be the same as when it was only controlled by magnetic force. After using it for a long time, I felt dizzy and lacked mental strength. Lin Fan has laid the foundation, and even the newly acquired level 1 superpower can display terrifying power. Amidst the roar of thunder and lightning, Lin Fan's weak thunder dragon flew through the air at high speed. Wherever it passed, the space was distorted and gave off a burning smell. The thunder and lightning was not only powerful in destructive power, but also carried terrifying heat. Flying against the thunder, Lin Fan flew in the sky for a while, then turned around and headed straight for the supermarket. He should also see what women Lin Yuyu brought back and see if they could catch his eye. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers. Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 29. Chapter 029 Illusion? Why does Zhao Wanqing become more beautiful the more she looks at her? What sound? Is it thundering outside? Listening to the rumble of thunder coming from outside, Li Saiqi glanced outside in confusion. It was clearly a sunny day, why did it suddenly thunder? Do not talk. Zhao Yanyan pulled Li Saiqi and shook her head at her. People under the eaves should be careful about their words and deeds. To be honest, Lin Yuyu frightened her too much. Li Saiqi glanced at Lin, who had his back turned to her. Yuyu spat out her sweet tongue and quickly covered her cheek. After taking the anti-fever injection, she threw the syringe into the trash can. Looking at Muyuking, who had zipped up her pants, Lin Yuyu said calmly, 38.9, the temperature is not too high. I took antipyretics and got an injection. The fever should subside soon. You should have a good rest. Muyuking's face was slightly rosy, and she nodded slightly. Thank you, sir. There is no need to thank me. Remember your mission. If it is not for the Lord, your life and death have nothing to do with me. Turn around and look at Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiqi. When Lin Yuyu looked at them, the two women became nervous instantly and their breathing became much more careful. You two, come out with me to meet the Lord. Although I don't know what happened with the thunder just now, Lin Fan's aura cannot be faked. The aura that has the same origin as hers. As soon as it appeared, Lin Yuyu knew that Lin Fan was back. That Lord is back, this thought came to mind simultaneously. The two women looked at each other and nodded quickly. Yes, sir. Remember, the Lord Euro trademark's attitude towards you will directly affect how you will be treated. You are all smart people, so I shouldn't Euro trademark need to say more. Yes, we understand. That's best. On the second floor, Lin Fan had just walked up. Zhao Wanqing, who had been in a state of uneasiness, saw his figure. As if she had found a backbone, Zhao Wanqing hurriedly greeted him. Lord, you are back and here are the slippers. Kneel down on the ground, pick up the slippers and put them on Lin Fan. Zhao Wanqing never thought that one day, she would do what only neon women would do, kneel down in the entrance hall to change her man's shoes. Now she has done it. She was also afraid that Lin Fan would be dissatisfied and worry about gains and losses. There was no way. Lin Yuyu, the main palace, was too powerful and put a lot of pressure on her. It was even better now. I went out and brought back 3 people with different characteristics, and their appearance was no worse than before the Doomsday. Her woman, how can she sit still? If she doesn't work hard, she might even have trouble seeing Lin Fan. Let Zhao Wanqing change her shoes, look down at Zhao Wanqing kneeling in front of her, and look at the curved arc. Lin Fan was a little confused. Why did he feel that Zhao Wanqing seemed plumper? If you didn't look at her face, she would look like a killer from behind. Is it an illusion? Lord, I'm going to get you some water. After changing her shoes, Zhao Wanqing hurriedly went to fetch some warm water. At a glance, Lin Fan unexpectedly discovered that Zhao Wanqing looked a little prettier today. Lin Fan felt something was wrong. What's going on? He got a new superpower and was feeling rejection. Did you react? Your eyes are not working properly? System, am I okay now? Just after integrating the lightning control, is there something wrong with your body? My lord, you are in good health and there is nothing abnormal about you. It's strange. Lord, wash your hands. In a daze, his hand was pulled over, and Zhao Wanqing wiped it carefully. Looking at Zhao Wanqing closely, the amazing feeling deepened. Lin Fan thought in his mind and probably made a guess. When we first met, Zhao Wanqing was so hungry that she could hardly walk. Now that nutrition has been provided, maybe Zhao Wanqing looks good after recovery, so it is not that there is something wrong with him, but that Zhao Wanqing is in the recovery stage. Thinking this way, Lin Fan felt much more enlightened. A room on the second floor opened, and Lin Yuyu and Li Saiki walked out. Her cold face instantly thawed, and she walked to Lin Fan with an intoxicating smile. "My lord, I went out this time and brought you back the two of them. The one on the left is Zhao Yanyan, the one on the right is Li Saiki, and there is Mu Yuking who has a fever in the room. Look, they help you dress and wash every day. Is that okay?" He looked at the two women in front of him carefully. Lin Fan didn't know what to say. Is this okay? Is this more than okay? The one on the left, Zhao Yanyan, was charming, naturally charming, and had a charming aura all over her body. The one on the right, Li Saiki, was pure and lovely, as charming as the girl next door. As for the one with the fever inside, Lin Fan didn't see it, but just looked at these two. You know that Mu Yuking's appearance in it is definitely not bad. People of the same species flock together, and things are divided into groups. It is difficult to get together if the difference in appearance is too big. Such a woman, before the end of the world, just pick any one of them, and there are many licking dogs who want to lick the goddess. In the past, he could only look at her. Under the aura induction, both women are relatively pure. Although I don't know if this is the first time, they have not been in contact with a man for at least half a year. They are not bad for being used as maids for dressing and washing. If nothing else, just this look. It's worth watching it every day, it will make you feel good. Without lingering on the two women, Lin Fan pulled Lin Yuyu over, lowered his head and kissed her. "I saw everything you did this time, it was very good. Even if I were here, I wouldn't be any better than you. With such a performance, I can rest assured. Doomsday, I am the only one in the world who has superpowers." Author, Gugu Da. Chapter 30. Chapter 030, Have you ever practiced Kinkina Euro trademark S art of circumambulation? Lord, I checked, it's their first time. Close to Lin Fan's ear, Lin Yuyu seemed to be afraid that he would be uneasy, so she explained the situation of the three women in a low voice. Have you checked? Lin Fan had a question mark on his head, while Zhao Yanyan and Zhao Yanyan lowered their heads with expressions of confusion on their faces. Just now not only was Mu Yuking given a fever-reducing injection, this was also the first time they had ever experienced such a thing. You two, serve the Lord, Zhao Wanqing, go cook. An hour later, Zhao Wanqing had already finished cooking. Neither Lin Yuyu nor Zhao Wanqing moved their chopsticks. They were obviously waiting for Lin Fan to take a seat. Stop standing around and eat together. In a good mood, Lin Fan pointed to the seat next to him and motioned for Zhao Yanyan and the two of them to sit down. Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki glanced at Lin Yuyu subconsciously. Lin Yuyu frowned and said with an evil look, "Here, the Lord is the biggest and obeys unconditionally. The Lord a Euro trademark S order, the Lord a Euro trademark S order is everything, including me, it is the Lord a Euro trademark S private property. If there is a next time, get out." Zhao Yanyan and Li Saiki were frightened and hurriedly sat down. However, their backs were straight and they only dared to pick up food from the food in front of them. Eat normally. Knocking on the table, Lin Fan glanced at the two women. Zhao Yanyan and Zhao Wanqing glanced at Zhao Wanqing subconsciously. Seeing that she was eating no differently than usual, they also relaxed. We are all of the same class. Since you can be so relaxed, then let's, of course it's okay. After dinner, Zhao Wanqing and the three girls were clearing the table, while Lin Yuyu was tired of being in Lin Fan's arms. She didn't look as cold and majestic as she did in front of Zhao Yanyan and the others. Playing with Lin Yuyu's white and tender little hands, Lin Fan lowered his head. He kissed Lin Yuyu's cheek and said, "The hospital has been completely cleaned up. You did a beautiful job today. I have seen it. You eradicated the roots and eliminated the evil without giving any chance for it to reappear. This is very good. You make me feel at ease like this a lot. Rubbing Lin Fan's neck, Lin Yuya was like a clingy kitten, chasing and kissing Lin Fan. The Lord said before that kindness to the enemy is cruelty to oneself. In the apocalypse, human nature is too dark, and those Pipaya Euro trademark S words also completely strengthened my heart. Those people actually want to take revenge, so they must die. Creatures like men are too dangerous. Except for the Lord, all of them must be killed. This will save a lot of fights. No matter how many intrigues women have, they will not be able to reach the level of elegance. Damn, the Lord is powerful, and doesn't a Euro trademark T need a man at all? I was a little worried before, fearing that the Lord would say I was too cold, but now Yu is relieved. Smelling the fragrance in the hair, Lin Fan lowered his head and kissed Lin Yu on the forehead. Silly girl, just think wildly.